Alright guys, welcome back to another thumbnailing video. In my last video, I pretty much had to do a voiceover to explain what was going on because my audio from my headphones, not from my headphones, but from my mic did not pick up. That's on the iPad, and when I tried to do a voiceover again with that, that did not work. So now we are trying this again. I'm using my Bluetooth headphones as my mic. I've already tested it, so I know that it works. And we're going to continue thumbnailing. So we are working on thumbnailing page 2, uh, which is this here. As you can see, I have changed a few things, in particular where the word box is going to be / dialogue box. And then I've added an additional panel, which is, I like that because with a lot of these panels going on in this particular setup, they're all landscapes, and I want to break that up. So this is how I can do that. And give some variety to these pages here. And I'll be, of course, hopefully having some variety in these other pages as well. So let's go back here. And with the text being as small as it is, it's not really going to uh, do anything for you guys, I don't think, because I don't really think you guys can read anything outside of maybe what is typed out versus written out. So, because these parts where the boxes are, these like that looks like paper, it was because I took a screenshot of the stuff that I had written down, and then I clipped it out and pasted it. So, yeah. All right, so we're going to continue with page 2 here. I don't want to try to zoom in too much. I just want to kind of make sure I have like both pages within the scene here because I want to, oopsies, make sure I'm on the right layer here. I want to do this, and then I'll still have this set up here where it's like um, a bird's eye view of like the throne room here. It's like a elaborate thing here. It's a pillow, and I've got someone sleeping, of course, and maybe you see his arm. And then you've got they're under the cover, so you would see like the body, indication of the body, and then the sheets here. And then maybe I'll have I'll keep this figure standing over him, and then I'll have an indicator of a dagger here, and then maybe that would be the fire over here across the room, and then maybe this is a rug, but this is like a pole here, like a for the bed. It's an elaborate bed setup here, as it would be the king's chamber, and then I might have like a uh, nightstand here where like the crown would be, just to kind of indicate that for me as well that this would be like the king's chamber. And then maybe the next morning, uh, maybe the next morning here, uh, let me see how I would do this. Maybe here, and then here, and then Ooh, I could be real savage and just have it like right in the face, right? Like this person just did not care about homeboy uh at all. Uh and he's over like cuz he's in the bed still, right? Uh and then maybe have like multiple people standing over him like the guards or something that would be standing over him. Uh and then maybe this guard here, and then like a look of like surprise, like surprise. I know that's so the amazing art that's that's within this pose, right? And then maybe another character here, do the surprise face as well. Like there's multiple people in this room who see this person dead. Um, Maybe I'll even have the killer in the room as well. Like one of these people might actually be the killer if I show like this person's face, or just like I don't know if I would cloud them in darkness. I'm not worried about the lighting so much with with this pose. Um, uh, so yeah, and maybe because I think in this one they were holding the object. So I'm gonna do that and then do this, and then I'm gonna indicate that this is like, because I know what that indicates. For me, I know what that indicates. Um, Here we go. And then, because it would be this hand that would have held the object, so maybe that's completely empty. There we go. There we go. Okay, so there's that. Um, I'm not going to do this part yet because I want to do that maybe on the next page. Yeah, I think I'm going to do these two on the next page. Um, and then maybe here, what I'll do is I'll have this large section here. And this might change, but I do want this. I'm going to have this person looking at this item, like hunched over, kind of like Smeagol from what I think his name is Smeagol, right? From Lord of the Rings. And then his other hand, or it could be a she, you never know, right? Mm, uh, and then there's this evil grin on their face. Um, and then I'm just gonna do like some type of hair, whatever. Yeah, so, and then, what else did I have going on here? I'm trying to think what I had going on. Okay. So I know what I'm gonna add. I know what I'm gonna add here. Um, what I might do to add some variety here is here and then here. I feel like I needed to. Oops. Feel like I want it more jagged because like I want to make it look like there's a lot of chaos going on, and maybe like that, and then like here maybe, or maybe I could do like that. Hmm. I could do this. I could do this because then I can still keep um maybe let's try uh huh. Let me see. So for me, sorry, for me, thumbnailing is like, I know it's a needed process. Like it helps you plan out everything, yada yada yada. For me, it is out of, out of everything when it comes to doing the comic, because this is my second time, second, third, whatever, second. I want to say second or third. Maybe we'll just talk about that in another video. This is my second time creating this comic. Um, Literally redoing it from the ground up. Um, Outside of like a few things in the story that I've changed, but not much. It's just adding these pages in, so that way I don't have to do like a like a whole like information dump conversation later on down the road. But uh, thumbnailing, I enjoy it for the fact that I can play around with how I want things to flow or the scenes that I'm plotting out. But I also hate hate it for the amount of like energy that it requires for me to plan these pages out. Yeah. So pros and cons. But yeah, so let me go back into doing this. And then I am going to do this. I'm going to like have this person being stabbed because maybe they're being stabbed by, this is like a royal person, right? This is might most likely might be the king, but maybe the queen is the one that's stabbing him in the back. Uh, I'm gonna do a little sword here. Maybe it's the queen who's like, you know what? It's my time to rule. Entire, yeah, I think I did have it as the queen. I actually wrote it down too. It says king and queen. So yeah, even the queen is just a little indicator is like, you know what, homie, uh, I'm a do me. Um, and she is taken homeboy up the game alive. Of course, this would be different. This is just a quick, this is just to help indicate what's going on, being stabbed in the back, of course. Uh, and then I will still indicate uh, queen and then king here because I most likely will not end up referencing the these thumbnails later on. Um, outside of, I don't even think outside of like I don't even know if I will end up having to uh, do all this. And then what I want to do here, because I want to show chaos, I'm going to break this up, like just the chaos that was within this. I could have made this more chaotic, I guess. I got to figure out how I would do that. Um, I don't like that. I don't like it. Here maybe? I just don't like that division. I just don't like how it's divided. I'm about to look into maybe different panel layouts, I guess, that I could use. Um, in fact, what I'm going to do, because guess what? I have tons of um, stuff going on here. I could have it slightly slanted, right? So technically, I could have had this one like maybe slanted upward like this, right? And I literally have comics on my shelf. I have tons of comics that I like to read. Um, and they vary. Some manga, some American stuff. Um, uh, oops, I think I want to do it this way. I have some indie stuff on there as well that I've backed up from like Kickstarters and stuff like that. Um, I'm trying to think. Uh, yeah, I'm gonna keep that. I'm gonna keep. No, I think what I want to do, like I said, the brain power that is being used here, because I really want this to look somewhat chaotic. And then what I might do with this particular thumbnail, or this particular is maybe no, nope, don't like it, don't like it. I'm just gonna keep it this way. I'm just gonna keep it that way. It might not be as there we go. I'll keep it that way. Let me see here. And then maybe another battle scene here. Um, what I'm gonna do for the battle scene is I'm just gonna kind of reference what I got going on here. Um, again, and then maybe I'll have here like another battle scene. And then boom, boom, boom. And then this person's actually being stabbed though. Let's try this again. So, because I want this particular scene to just be nothing but chaos. Um, so maybe here, and then here, and then what I'll do is I'm gonna have the legs like this because I want this particular person, oopsies, I want this particular person to look like they are coming down with like a sword or something, and then it'll go probably break the frame actually. And then I've got this person who might be the queen. Maybe I'll have it the queen, right? And then maybe her arm is, I'm gonna draw through real quick. Maybe she's like this, and then her arm is going here, and then she's like that. There we go. And then that way I can erase this. I'm gonna, it's like a draw through here. Boom, right? And then maybe, uh, and then, so that's that person. And then let's just have another person who, you know what I want to do? I want to do a scene where it's just, I'm gonna do it this way. I'm gonna have it blacked out in a sense. Um, and then what I'm gonna do is maybe here, knife, grabbing them, and then there's another person who maybe might be stabbing this person. Oopsies. I don't know how I would do this. There's another knife here, and there's person being stabbed here, and then do it this way. And this person's like on their knees here, stabbing this person, and just like chaos, and then like just blood. And like what I'll do is I'll make a note to myself, but like just like just straight up chaos of like people killing each other left and right. And then what I'm gonna do is, so I'm gonna make a note. What I'm gonna do is make a note in, how am I gonna do this? So I'll delete that. I'll put notes here. And then what I'll do is I'm gonna do I'm gonna do a flat real quick of uh, gray. Well, it's like a bluish gray, but oopsies. Um, I'm gonna do this like so that way, and it's an indicator. Whoa, did not mean to do that. So that's here, and then oh, they're the same color. Okay, I wanted to make sure. But I'm gonna do this. Oopsies, wrong pencil. And then I'll cover all this in. Do do do. That's blood everywhere. Right. All this just, there'd be more people, of course, but I need room for notes. So I'm gonna go to the notes section for notes. Black out figures. Let me see here. Figures. Each other, and then blood spray. And then I'll just do a note, add more figures. That's all I need. There we go. All right, so I have 3 pages. All that just at 3 pages. Like I said, it's the brain power, really thinking about how I'm going to lay things out, making sure it makes sense, making sure I like how it flows through. And then, even still, what I will do is I will end up going back and re-looking at these thumbnails again to make sure that I still like how they are set up. Um, because pretty much what I did was I took, come on, man, this page here and made it 2. Uh, and the reason I did this was because this was only page 2, which means this would have been here, this setup would have been here, and then, oh no, when I got to this double page spread, I would either have to do this completely different to where literally 1 and 2 would have been next to each other, and then 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 7 and 8. And I know that's not how doing it that way would not have been how you would normally see a comic book set up. Technically, I still could have done it that way because it's my book. I could do whatever heck I want, but I wanted to kind of keep that similar format as far as how you would normally read a comic book. You would have the credit page, right? And then you would turn it over and it would be a blank black page or plain page, and then you would have your first page on the right hand side. If you're reading it the American way, reading from uh, reading left to right. Sorry, Jesus. I was literally about to say right to left, but that's Japanese. Japanese comics. So yeah. Um, yeah. So do, 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 so let's go ahead and see if we can go ahead and start working on uh page 4 here. So this is page 4. What I'm going to do is, because I think I would love for this to be a double page spread, honestly, to tell you the truth. Technically, I could have 2 double page spreads within this comic. Hmm. I really, let me see. Hmm. 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 You know what? Okay, I think I know how I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna split this because I was thinking about keeping this original setup here. or technically this is page 3, right? Page 3, and keeping that the same, but I'm going to change it. That is not the color that I want. And I think I'm also on the notes section. So I'm gonna go here. Yep, I was on the notes section. I'm gonna change my color. So we're gonna go back here, make sure I'm on the right layer. It's gonna be a divide down the center. And then what I'm going to do, I'm gonna add the, there we go. I'm tired of adjusting that. One thing I do wish Procreate would do is give you more options outside of just having 4 presets for a brush that you can pick. Like, give me 5 or 6 for each brush. Give me 5 or 6. Let me work with that. Um, Actually, I could have this off center. Yeah, I think it would look weird if I have it off center. Yeah, we'll see. Let's do this. 'Cause I'm also trying to be mindful of where I put the dialog boxes, planning that out within the thumbnail as well. So let me see. I'm gonna do here. What I'm gonna do, because I want this to arch here. So you'll see what I'm doing in a second here. Mm. Actually, what I might do, the head, I might do maybe the head person here is an actual female. Kind of doing the stereotypes of it being a dude. So I'm just gonna indicate with the hips that this is a female. And the rest of the stuff I could care less. This is all an indicator. And then I'm gonna do this to indicate what this is. And I know this stuff this would not make sense to anyone, and that's okay. Um, these are just thumbnails. It's not meant for everyone to understand what is going on within this image. And then what I'm going to do, because this is something I wanted to help indicate, and maybe I'll do 4, or I could do 3. Let me do 4. I'll do 4. So maybe one here, one here, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to have figures here. So in my previous video, I did the body types, right? I did what I was looking to kind of work with and have different body types within this comic, um, especially with this particular, uh, especially with the stuff that's going on right within these pages that I'm working on, and I really want to work with these body types. So maybe I'll have this body type here, and as the indicator, uh, you know, here, maybe I'll have the female here because she would be shorter. And then here. And then she would have those strong shoulders here. But I don't even have to have these characters looking straight on. I mean, technically I could have them, um, like 3/4 views, which I might end up changing and stuff like that later on down the road when I'm actually drawing the page. Oops, somebody's getting pulled over. Alright, that's just the police doing their thing, heading somewhere. Yeah, you know what I'll do? I'll do that because I want to have these characters facing inward. Like, you'll see what I mean in a second. To kind of keep the... So maybe I'll have the female character here. And then she's a warrior, so here. And then the wider hips. And then here, boom, boom, boom. And then of course they would be in armor or in their whatever would have them in. And then even here, what time is it? Jeez. It's almost 9:30. I would have Big Boy. Well, he's more stout, but he's taller. No, he's about the same height as this chick. So maybe I'm gonna have him here. He looks because he's a big dude. He's stock, right? Like he's a stocky dude. So maybe boom, you see these arms coming out here. He's just he looks like he would yeet someone across the battlefield. I'm giving him a gut here. But that's the, like I said, I want to show different body types within this comic, and I want these body types to be as well as like the heroes. It's not just some superhero or some Superman body figure going on with this. So boom. So there's that guy, and then so I've got see that. So they're all facing center, right? They're all facing center. That's what I want. That's how I want it. So I want to do the hefty woman because I do. She's. I so want to do like my own comic like with this woman centered, and she's taller I think than this guy. I think. Let me see. But she's about the same height. So what I might do, because she's the same height as him, and these two are the same height. So I really can't. I could move this guy over here and this guy over here to have the shorter people inside. So yeah, let's do that. So this is how I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna take this and nope, I'm gonna do this. Show this again. I'm going to move this here. And then I'm going to take this guy and I'm going to take him. I'm going to flip him and move him here. Do this. And then I'm going to go back here, take this guy and put him here. Like I said, just because this is all thumbnails, so it doesn't have to be perfect. As long as I know what the heck is going on, I'm good. Here we go. Here, I'm going to move. There we go. I'm going to move her over slightly. Oh, come on, man. There we go. So that way I can move this guy over some. I might have to redraw him. And maybe I'll have him sticking out some. But, and then, dang it, no, because I don't want the two burly people. Oh man, I really wanted her in here. I'm just gonna go back and do it that way. I'm gonna leave it this way because I do want her in this lineup. Um, and maybe I'll shrink him down. Maybe I'll shrink his height down slightly. Or you know what? I can have this guy just be taller. So that way he looks taller than her and the other guy. And then it's got this bit. There we go. Oh, there we go. Keep it that way. And then I'll have her who's shorter but also stockier. And I'll have her here. And I'll do like the hair, the indicator of a hair, so I know that it's not the same. Because you probably, actually, there you go. She's got the wider chest, the thicker hips, the larger arms. But, and the hair is definitely not going to look like this when I get done with it. And I'll do like an indicator of the testicles. Oh, oh, and then boom. But yeah, there's my lineup here. And then so what we're gonna do, and I'll probably leave it. I'll probably stop at this because I do want to get something to eat here. Um, I can do it off center if I wanted to. I could do it off center if I wanted to. I think that's gonna look off though, so we'll do it center. We'll do it from here to here, and that this box size may of course change later on depending on the amount of text, but this is just to help indicate. Actually, technically, it probably wouldn't because I could always just make it thinner to make it stretch from. there. And then what I'm going to do to help indicate that it's a text box is this. Boom, 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 boom. So there we go. Currently we have, no, because I want to, so I'm done with that. So we're going to go back to the thumbnail. And then, so this right here is this. Um, so I'm changing things to make things look what I feel is a little bit better and breaking up these layouts from the original. And I think these are a lot better, especially because this one stays the same because this is the first page, so that's going to stay the same for the most part. There probably isn't going to be much changing outside of the layout for this particular panel, but this is completely changed from here. Well, not completely, but I mean, technically completely because this one has gone over to the next page. Um, uh, so yeah, this last panel on this third panel here for page 2 has really switched over to the second panel on page 3 on the new layout. So things have changed. So, and I think it looks a lot better and has a little bit more engagement in the story. And then so there's this part here, and then I'm still going to keep this as it is. And what I'm going to do is make sure I'm here. So, but this one, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to and then they would have armor on here. I don't need to do all of this, but I'm just kind of doing an indicator here, here. I would have one of the other body types in here as well, doing their thing. And then another person here. Here, and then maybe a shield. And then another person here. It doesn't have to be perfect. This is all just roughed out here. And then I'm gonna have big burly dude back here looking like he's ready to throw down. And then other people here. And then just an indicator of people back here as it recedes into the background. Boom. So there's that. And then I am going to have to make this note because I do want to make sure that I don't forget that. Notes. Make sure I'm on the right thing. Okay. And then And the reason I'm making this note is because within this part here, they're going to certain people, the scene, everyone's gonna have a mask on. So, um, and then I think there's gonna be text here as well. And what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the text balloon down here. Oopsies, wrong color. The text balloon would go down here. Boom, 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 boom. So you guys have literally seen the process and the time that it takes to rough out what? Let me see. That was kind of roughed out, I think. Let's see. Let's see if it was already roughed out. I'm gonna pull up this video real quick. So I stopped here. So you guys have literally got to see me rough out one, two, three, 3.5 pages, and the time that it took to rough out 3.5 pages, and this particular oh, I'm not sure if you guys could hear my neck crack, but this particular um sorry, that was my knuckles. This particular, I want to say volume, but this particular maybe chapter, depending on how I decide to do it, is going to take up um is going to take up, let me see where we're at here, more than 30 pages. Um, more than, yeah, it's gonna probably take, it's good. I don't, it's probably, I know it's going to take more than 30 pages. Um, so yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed this, and I will talk to you guys in another video. Peace out.